is this beautiful 5-petal flower with a raised flower inside and then big net petals on the outside. On this video, I'm going to teach you how to make the net flower. I'm going to be using a 4mm hook and some cotton yarn size 4. Okay, we're going to start with a slip knot and we're going to start with a base ring. For your base ring, you want to chain 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you're going to do a slip stitch to the first chain that you made. So you insert your hook into that chain, grab the yarn, and pull through to close. And now we're going to start row 1. We're going to chain 1. And into the ring, you're going to work 15 single crochets. So you insert your hook, pull up a loop, and do 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, 3, 4, and I'm going to go all the way around with a total of 15 single crochets. I'm going to do that off camera and I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, I just went all the way around and I just did my 15th single crochet. So now to finish off this row, we just want to do a slip stitch to the first single crochet that you made. Insert your hook into it, grab the yarn, and pull through to close. And that there is the end of row 1. For row 2, we're going to chain 5. We're going to skip the first 3 single crochets. So the one that you did the slip stitch into, you skip that. That's the first one, second, and third. And then we're going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch. Then a chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we skip 2 stitches into the next, do a slip stitch. So what we're doing here basically is just these kind of like rails of chains. At the beginning here, you technically just skip 2. Like after the first chain, you skip the next 2 stitches. Or you can see it also in a way that you skip the first 3 stitches. I just want to clarify that. Then slip stitch, chain 5, skip 2, slip stitch. And this is what we want to do all the way around. Chain 5, skip 2, slip stitch. And then once again, chain 5, skip 2, slip stitch. And the very last one here, chain 5, skip 2. And now we're just going to do a slip stitch to the first single crochet of the row. So into the first single crochet of the previous row, where the first chain 5 comes out of, into there, you do a slip stitch. And you're going to have 5 little petals here. Now for row 3, we're going to start by doing a slip stitch into the first chain 5 space. Now we are going to chain 1. And around the same chain 5 space, you're going to work the first petal. And you want to do 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, then 5 double crochets. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then 1 half double crochet. And then 1 single crochet into the same space. So this is your first petal here. And that's what you want to do all the way around into the chain spaces. I'll do it one more time with you. We're going to find the next chain 5 space and we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, 5 double crochets. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. then a half double crochet, and then 1 single crochet. And that's the second petal. So do that 3 more times and I'll see you when you're done. So I just did the last petal here. And so now to finish off this row, we're just going to do a slip stitch to the first single crochet off the row. You insert your hook into it, grab the yarn and pull through to close. This here is the end of row 3. Now we're going to move on to row 4. We want to chain 1. And then we're going to work behind the petals and around the slip stitches of 2 rows ago. So basically these points here, we're going to be working around those. And I'll show you how to do that. We are going to work a slip stitch. So going behind, this one's a little bit different because it's the first one. And you want to go into this point. And now we're going to be working single crochets behind the flower and around the slip stitch of 2 rows ago, which is these points here. So what that's going to look like, this first one's a little bit different because you kind of have to do it behind where you currently are. So with your hook behind the flower, you're going to go around this kind of post here, behind it, and go over it from right to left. So the flower kind of scrunches like this, but you're on the other side. I'll show you again. So we are here after the chain 1. I'm going to bring my hook behind the flower and go around this post here from right to left. I'm going to grab the yarn and bring it to the back. And now I'm going to yarn over and pull through all the loops. And I'm creating like a single crochet here. And it feels a little twisted at the beginning, but then it's going to make a little bit more sense. We're going to chain 8 now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're going to find that next slip stitch of 2 rows ago. Go behind the flower and go around it from right to left. You're going to grab the yarn and pull it backwards. And then you're going to complete a single crochet. Let's do that one more time together. We're going to chain 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And now we're going to go find that next slip stitch, go around it from right to left, and then grab the yarn, pull it back, yarn over, pull through both for a single crochet. And what this is going to give you, it's basically like a railing in the back of the flower because we're going to be working around these chain spaces next. And this is what we want to do all the way around. So we are going to chain 8 and then do those single crochets around the slip stitches of 2 rows ago, going from behind the flower. Do that all the way around and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, and I just did my last chain 8 here. So now to finish off this row, we're just going to do a slip stitch to the first single crochet of the row that you did. Insert your hook into it, grab the yarn, and do a slip stitch. Now this here is the end of row 4, and you can only really see it if you turn your flower and you have those railings in the back there. Now for row 5, we're going to do a slip stitch to the first chain 8 space. And we're going to chain 1. Now we're going to be working the second row of petals. We want to start with a single crochet, then 1 half double crochet. Then you want 8 double crochets. So I'm going to do those off camera. You want 8 double crochets. I'll see you when I'm done them. Okay, I just did my 8 double crochets there. Now we're going to do a half double crochet and then a single crochet. And that's our first petal here. So that's what you want to do into each one of the next 8 chain 8 spaces. We're going to go into it doing 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, 8 double crochets, 1 half double crochet, and 1 single crochet. You do this all the way around and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, I just finished my final petal here. So now to finish off this row, we're just going to do a slip stitch to the first single crochet of the row. You insert your hook into it, grab the yarn, and pull through to close. That there is the end of row 5. Now for row 6, we're going to chain 2 And you're going to work behind the petals again. And we're going to be doing single crochets around the single crochets of 2 rows ago. So the same thing we did earlier. We're going to bring your hook behind the petals, around the post of the single crochet, grabbing your yarn and bringing it back, and then completing a single crochet. Now we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now you're going to find the next single crochet of 2 rows ago, go behind the petal, and then around the post, and then grabbing the yarn back and doing a single crochet. And that's what we want. We're going to create our railing in the back there. So we are going to chain 10 and then doing those single crochets. Do that all the way around and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, I just went all the way around here. I just did my final chain 10. And now to finish off this row, we just want to find the first single crochet that you made. Insert your hook into it and do a slip stitch. Tilt this a little bit. It's easier to get into the single crochet. There we go. And then you do a slip stitch. Sorry guys, I pulled this a little too tight. Sorry, that's my slip stitch there to the first single crochet of the row. And this here is the end of row 6. Now for row 7, we're going to do a slip stitch to the first chain 10 space of the previous row. Now we are going to chain 1. And we're going to do 15 single crochets into this chain 10 space. So you want 15 single crochets around the chain space. This is 3. I'm going to do a total of 15 off camera and I'll see you when I'm done. Okay, I just finished my 15 single crochets into the chain space. And now this is exactly what we want to do into each one of the chain spaces. So you find your next chain 10 space and into it do 15 single crochets. Do this all the way around and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, I just went all the way around doing the 15 single crochets into each one of the chain spaces. So now to finish off this row, we just want to do a slip stitch to the first single crochet off the row. Insert your hook into it, grab the yarn and pull through to close. Now this here is the end of row 7. Now for row 8, we're going to start working the petals. And I believe we're only going to work one at a time, but that'll make sense later. So we are going to do a slip stitch to the next single crochet. That's how the row starts. Slip stitch into the next stitch. Now we are going to start the row repeat. It starts by chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you want to skip 1 stitch and then do a slip stitch into the next single crochet. And now you want to do this all the way down until like in this section, the first petal. So let's do that again. Chain 4. Skip 1 stitch and into the next, do a slip stitch. Chain 4. Skip a stitch into the next, slip stitch. And so this is what we want to do all the way down. I believe you are going to have a total of 6 of these. So do that and I'll see you when you're done. Okay, so once you have 6 of these, you've done chain 4, skip 1, slip stitch, chain 4, skip 1, slip stitch. And once you have 6, you're all done after your last slip stitch there. Now we're actually going to turn our work. So you have it facing the right side. So let's flip it over, because we're going to be working this way now, working up the petal. So we are going to do 2 slip stitches into the first chain 4 space. So into the first chain 4 space, you do 1 slip stitch and 2 slip stitches. And now we are going to do a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you want to do a slip stitch into the next chain 4 space. So into here, just a slip stitch. Now do that again, chain 4. Find the next chain 4 space and into it do a slip stitch. And this is what we want to do all the way down. Chain 4. slip stitch, almost done here, chain 4, slip stitch, and then this would be my last one, chain 4, and then slip stitch into the last chain 4 space. Now you can go ahead and actually flip your work again. We're gonna be working into the right side of the work now. You're going to slip stitch into the first chain 4 space. Once again, you want to slip stitch twice. So that's 1 and 2. And now from here, we're going to chain 4. Find the next chain 4 space and into it do a slip stitch. And do it again all the way down. Chain 4, slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and slip stitch, and one more time, and then slip stitch. As you can see, the petal is growing upwards. So now we can go ahead and flip our work and do that again. Slip stitch into the first chain 4 space twice, then chain 4, and then slip stitch down. So every time we're doing one less. 1, 2, 3, 4, and on to the last one. Now you want to do that again. Flip our work. 2 slip stitches into the first chain 4 space. That's 1 and 2. Then a chain 4. Then a slip stitch to the next chain 4 space. Chain 4. Slip stitch into the next chain 4 space. And I believe we are coming to almost the end here. Flip your work, do a couple of slip stitches into the first chain 4 space. Oh my goodness, sorry. My yarn was being kind of weird there. So here we go, that was my second slip stitch, chain 4. And now we're going to do a slip stitch to the next chain 4 space, which is this one. And that completes the petal. As you can see, now there's just one chain 4 space. And that's when you know that you're done. And you created this cute petal of like a net, kind of. And you can go ahead and fasten your yarn off. So you can cut it off, leaving a tail to weave in later. And this is what your petal is looking like here. Super pretty. And this is what we want to do into each one of the petals. So I'll show you where to join your yarn for each one of them. We are going to make sure that our flower is facing up. So like facing you with the right side. And let's go find the next spot. And so you're going to create a slip knot with your yarn. And we are going to insert this. So you're going to be skipping, let me see here. You're going to be skipping the next 2 single crochets. So of this current chain 10, or this is where you created the 15 single crochets. So you're not going to do anything in these 2. We're going to move on to the next set of 15 single crochets. And into the very first one is where you're going to attach your yarn, I believe. So into this first one here, you attach your yarn. And then, let me see here. Pull it through. And now from here, you can actually start the row repeat, which essentially starts with a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you skip a stitch and into the next do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip a stitch into the next slip stitch. And remember, in this first row that you do that, you're going to have 6 of those groups of chain 4s. And then you're going to be flipping your work back and forth. You can just go back to the beginning of when we did this petal for row 8. Every time you're reducing basically 1 chain 4 space until you hit the one single one and your petal has finished. Go back to that and make sure that you repeat that into each one of the petal spaces, and then cut off your yarn and thread your ends through. And here we have it. This one is so cool, you guys. Look at these petals. How stunning. So as you can see, there are 2 layers of raised petals and then these bigger petals that look like a net. Super duper stunning, and I thought it was quite easy to make.
Hey, while you're at it, why don't you just subscribe to my channel? Just do it. Just do it.